into a frenzy with albums charmingly entitled things like Antichrist Superstar. In the United States, the shock rock group Marilyn Manson has outraged decent folk who accuse them of peddling filth. And whatever the practicing Satanist singers are peddling, they're peddling it here in New Zealand this week.
At a time when all the wild men in rock have gone respect as keep it down, habitat is the graveyard. These are the fellas who are putting filth and depravity back into good old-fashioned rock music.
Any talk of death that I have in my music is always me learning from being close to death and appreciating life and living it to the fullest. You know, I've never told anyone to kill themselves. I think, in fact, suicide is a very weak thing. And I've always said that if anyone's stupid enough to kill themselves over heavy metal music, then that's really what they deserve, because then there's one less idiot in the world. Even Christianity has played a bad role in giving Satanism a bad name. I've been a fan of, I guess, the occult and different ways of thinking other than Christianity for so many years.
I mean, you must remember Alice.
I liked Alice Cooper growing up. I think a lot of people have said we're the Alice Cooper of the 90s. I think that's a fair compliment.
After serial killers in the United States Senate, they're trying to have him banned. They're so disturbed by him. Young people flock to see him all around the world. He's a shock rocker. He calls himself the Antichrist Superstar. He invites the audience to spit on him, or has done in the past. There are chickens and blood everywhere on the stage. Marilyn Manson had This is a very nice cemetery, a very old cemetery. We thought you'd be happy in a cemetery.
Reminds me of New Orleans.
The cemetery?
This past summer, yeah.
That's right, and you dug up, you went robbing graves there. Did you rob graves there?
We didn't rob them. See, in New Orleans, the ground is very deteriorated, so you just find bones sticking out of it. So we just plucked them. So we didn't actually rob them.
So should mums and dads be worried about you?
I think the best thing that could happen is if parents are afraid of me, they will take more time to raise or not and how music, art, and film is going to affect their lives. Parents are afraid of losing their youth, and there's a bit of a jealousy sometimes when they see their kids identifying with something that they can no longer relate to.
What do your mum and dad think of this?
They're big fans now. I don't think they always were, but they see that I enjoy what I do. I think that's what they want more than anything.
You would have struck some controversy with the name Manson, in the States particularly?
Well, one of the points of the name was to almost a mockery of controversy, a mockery of the phoniness of show business, you know. But I thought it was interesting to take those two because of their history in popular culture, how America has put them on the same status. They're equally memorable, you know, for their own separate reasons.
But in that too, on those two names, there's also that opposites that you're constantly talking about.
Yes.
All right.
So it was a perfect metaphor for me.
Yeah. It scares the heebie-jeebies out of the middle classes too, doesn't it? Out of the Bible group too, I would imagine. Manson.
Yeah, it seems like the people who are open-minded enough to understand, you know, will find something enjoyable out of what I do, whether it's entertainment or whether it's something to believe in or whether it's something to tap your foot to. And the other people who aren't open-minded enough, I guess, really deserve to be scared because the fear is what's, you know, keeping them from understanding it. The fear themselves, usually.
Now, what about the other business, too? I understand there's a bit of the other business on the stage, the sex. Do you have sex on stage?
Not on a regular basis. There was one occasion that the media likes to, you know, continually
they all
gravitate towards. Yeah. Well, it's something exciting to mention for them. That's the extent of the sex. I mean, the show has a lot of sexual overtones, and I rarely perform in much clothing, but I don't necessarily have sex on stage. But I'm open to suggestions if you're willing to come on stage and do some sort of duet.
Personally, no. I would find it, I don't think I could perform in that kind of arena. I don't think so. It's too public. Is this all a game, do you think?
Well, it's not a game, but it's definitely something that keeps me entertained. Yeah, I'm as entertained by the way the world reacts to me as the way, you know...
The world is entertained by you?
Entertained by me.
Well, you don't seem particularly scary at all, if I may say so. Is that disappointing?
Well, I think the scariest thing about me is that there are different sides to what I do. You know, that, you know, I'm sure if there were a devil and you were to meet him, he'd be quite charming, I'm sure. I don't think he would, you know, set you on fire right there on the spot.
Fascism doesn't always wear jackboots. Personally, at the moment, I'm afraid, because I don't know if you and I will be able to stand up after sitting for so long on this concrete grave. Ah.
But if you'd like, we could try and dig up some bones, but I've got to go eat lunch at some point.
Well, that's right. I've got to get back. That's right. That's right. Well, I'm sure it'll be fun to do. Well, good luck.
Thanks. Enjoyed it.
Well, I'm sure he'd hate my saying it, but he seems a very pleasant and a very thoughtful man. Marilyn Manson plays the Powerstation in Auckland tonight. So enough of the shock rock. Something...
Now, very exciting for me. This is the raw footage, the first 2 minutes of the Marilyn Manson concert, which I went to on Wednesday night at the Auckland Powerstation. And I knew that I was going to be in for a really good show, and I wasn't. Wow. Gosh, I'm just lost for words because it was great. And what you're going to see is just a small sample of the show, so maybe without me putting too many words into your head, I should just let you see the pictures and let them speak for themselves. And I have to apologise, the footage is a little bit ropey, it's a little bit all over the place, but when I was actually doing the filming, I was having to check my levels as well to make sure that they weren't just going way off the scale. And it is only 2 minutes because that's all that management would allow me to take, so that's just the standard thing that international bands say, okay, only 2 minutes, so you can't go and bootleg it and all the rest of it. So here it is.
With the scab wings, hard truck base, water powder his nose. He will devour the freshest crop, dry up all the wounds with his rock and roll sauce. Rock and roll sauce. Rock and roll sauce. That is what he has done. What he believes the thing that he has done.
17